If I am moving around, most of the time, if I'm moving around with one of these shockwave style guns, I have that compressed into a high port position.
Throwing targets are lightweight, weatherproof, take thousands of rounds of shooting, and make shooting fun. Pick up a set for your next range trip.
I feel much more comfortable retaining a gun here and transitioning into the various unorthodox shooting stuff that we get into in super small environments from here than I do with a muzzle down. A lot of that is because of some grip angle stuff, right? If I have a bird's head grip on this, even this right here, it's a little bit compressed on the wrist. It's a little bit hard to do. And with a stock, you know you're never really gonna go below there. If I have this here, this is very comfortable and it's very fast for me to get in these super compressed, like bladed positions, all the way to a standard presentation. It glides very naturally for me. If we're talking about fighting in that closet, right? Everyone here nerds out on body cams, right? Every single entry that these cops do, the thing that stands out to me most on these houses is there's never a clear path.
Oh, especially in a meth house?
There's just crap everywhere. You have to step, yeah. Nice, nice. There's crap everywhere. And those 30-inch doors are never actually 30-inch doors because there's always something lodged behind the door holding it closed, all of that. Being in here and going around that awful corner, I feel more confident in being able to get a position where I can put a shot on a bad guy and keep this gun from this position than I do from this position, whether I have a stock or not. I know that there's plenty of experts out there that are exactly 180 for me on that. But for me, the reason why I like that with these short guns that I'm working with predominantly, right here, if I am fighting over a gun, to break a shot, I know that I'm gonna have to steer that gun on target. Using a little bit of the ShivWorks doctrine, posture, and position, I know that it's real easy for me to do an elevation change to rake this thing down and to be able to get that muzzle on something that's human tissue if I'm wrestling a dude, than it is for me to like fight something up. So that's a big part of the why. Does that answer your question?
Thank you.
Yep.
Rhett, question real quick.
Yeah.
The reasons that we typically don't teach a port arms kind of muzzle position, especially with a short gun, is, one of the reasons we don't typically teach a port arms, especially with a short gun, is that muzzle's right next to my face. And especially with shotguns, if you've got any kind of gear, it's real easy to snag that trigger on something. Yep. I imagine in a fight, up tangle, you're easy to snag that.
Yep.
So I get where you're coming from. I see the merit. I just think that is something on the downside to be accounted for and dealt with when you're doing this.
Sure. And as far as the old doctrine goes of how people run these little shotguns, most people are thinking about running these here, and then you go to that port position and then like, yeah, you can get a muzzle under your chin easily. What I am running is I'm biasing towards keeping everything in training the same way across all platforms. So if I'm gonna collect a gun from the holster, when I go to get that two-handed grip, I'm always collecting that gun right along this base of the sternum or this low rib line. That's where that gun's gonna sit for me. With these guns, this is actually shorter than anything I have. With these guns, this kind of keeps this muzzle above my head while still keeping this nice and short. If I need to take an unsighted shot with this gun, it's not gonna be here or here. It's gonna be me leveraging in, getting low to the ground, because this, my chest and my body weight on an elevation change, I know that that's something that I can smash dudes with. That's like, I can probably do a snap level change on the biggest dude here. If he doesn't know that's coming, I will get those inches that I need to get that muzzle on meat and keep this muzzle up here. Is that gonna be a comfy shot to take? No, it's gonna suck.
That's why they call it a f***ed up tangle.
Yeah, but there's very few optimal things to do if you find yourself in any of those situations. So,
I would say one other less of a drawback for the muzzle down position is, like a pistol caliber or something, you shoot somebody in the pelvis or the lower or the upper thigh, that's not terribly immediately incapacitating. You shoot somebody in the pelvis or the upper thigh with a 12 gauge with buckshot at muzzle contact distance.
sure.
It may not be an immediate fight stopper, but it's going to be a hell of a lot closer.
Yeah, these will make people go away, right? But the muzzle position for me and the close quarters, the wrestling part of this, this is my comfort zone there. So to demo what that actually looks like, everyone good with me putting this? All right, Matt, you're here. If you grab a hold of that gun and I break this down, it's pretty easy for me to get an A-zone shot.
Bye, Matt.
Yep.
Yeah, that's my heart is now in my backpack.
So we're in, he gets a hold of that gun. He doesn't know what's coming. I can do that elevation change and drive that gun in. Now notice that the position of the muzzle to my head never changed.
And Matt says, whoopsie.
The leverage on that, I have no leverage on this gun because this is the pivot point and I don't see it coming to grab it here. Leverage, yeah. I'm fighting him, and what do you weigh, Rhett?
I'm 185 right now.
Yeah, I got 100 pounds on you.
So all I'm doing is just picking my feet 12 inches up off of the ground while leaning forward.
And that was me fighting it.
You do that on someone who's not suspecting, they're not gonna be fighting you in that direction, right? You don't grab a gun and like lift up out of someone's hand. But that is why I like that position, that technique. It's not everything, but we're talking about small spaces. It's definitely something in those small spaces.